Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 6 minutes away from 10 o'clock Friday night with a few for Saturday. Went visiting last night, finished up with a man I hadn't seen in a couple of years. I'd called to see him about 5 or 6 times. He's in his early 80s, and when I left him around 11 o'clock, he was going out checking on cows. And I told him, will you leave them alone and get someone younger than you? Because he got a kick last year or 18 months ago and broke several ribs. But he wouldn't listen, he won't learn. He's a real true farmer. Today, visiting as well, got to see a friend of mine. He had a fall, broke his pelvis. Thought it'd be about an hour there, 3 hours there. Had tea twice. He had boiled eggs. I had tea and apple tart. The other stuff wasn't mentioned. He would know anything about that anyway. I was supposed to get another call in, but time was against me this evening, so I'm the last couple hours trying to sort stuff for tomorrow. There was an awful rake of stuff. Today we had Karen Funnock, who didn't run well at all. First hurdle, down tools, don't know, don't like air, don't want to be here, I want to go home. Knew straight away that we were going to be bet from early doors. Mala cab ran into horror stuff. It reminded me of a car trying to escape from a bank robbery down the M50 and nothing but traffic in front of it. It lost its position after coming out of the stalls because it's drawn fairly decent and ran into trouble. It's a better horse than that. I couldn't see being out of the first 5, and it was because I had a big enough double with Sam Rogue, 7-2 and 7-2. One place, one not, because you'd have made money on it even if the two were placed. And poor old Sam Rogue broke slow a bit again, and then the grey horse went out in front. Sort of he had to do a sort of a tap dance, or she had. She ran gallantly to the line, but the bird had flown. And I forgot to do the reverse forecast because I was saying beforehand it's a 2-horse race. I don't know what it paid. Probably paid pretty decent actually. I don't know what, I can't remember. But the luck is sort of not running with us those days like it did in January. So hopefully it might come back tomorrow. What I did was I put there's a grade 1 and a couple of grade 2s. I stuck 3 of them together because people like to get my opinion on what I think of the races. Some of them then disagree and say no, I'm backing my horse, and that's what it's all about, opinions. I have that open there, the 240 at Haydock. Now, heavy ground in Haydock, it takes a bit of getting. I'm going with Red Risk for Bryony Frost and Paul Lickles. This likes hot, deep ground. It's a couple of pound better off with Botox has for a length beating on its first run this campaign in November in Weatherby. Then it ran in a grade 1 behind Crambo, and that ground would be good. It's better on hot, deep ground. I remember when it won, where did it won on desperate ground before? Oh, New Toxeter, wasn't it? There was only 4 finishers that day. Anyway, the worse the ground, the better. I hope it balloons rain all night there. Red Risk is, where are we here? 3:15. Was that what I said? $2.40. I'm getting a bit mithered. A bit mithered, says someone. Stone mithered. $2.40 at Haydock, over here at the end. I will check the prices. Botox has Butch, Red Race, 72 shot. that's the Rendlesham grade 2. I'm sticking the 150 at Haydock. The 150 is not at Haydock, it's at Ascot. It is the Reynoldstown. I'm sticking with Fav here, Apple away. Even though Brave Kingdom ran a decent enough race last time, but it was a handicap. Like, this is a grade 2. Apple away is the grade 1 winner at A&3 last year. Ran the only twice 'twas beaten over fences was by Grey Dawning, who I give a good chance to in the Brown Advisory, especially if it's soft. But it was beaten the last day 14 lengths, but Grey Dawning sort of came across it at the last fence, sort of crowded, or was that the second last, wasn't it? And it was beaten, but it was beaten 14 lengths either time. It would have been closer the last time, probably would have been maybe 8. It wouldn't have beaten it. But she jumped pretty well in Warwick. The ground was soft. She won on heavy before in that day. She hosed up Leicester. I know there was only 3, but she loved the ground. She was going away from them. So I'm going on heavy ground here as well. Well, that's good to soft. What am I thinking? I have to stick with it now with my decision made. Anyway, the other one I'm going with the 336, the other one at Ascot. This is the Betfair Chase. 4-horse race. Anything could happen. Lon Presley was off for 13 months. Only came back recently, and it's only 27 days since his last run. It was off for 13 months, going against it. Pictory was, I tipped it up the last time, it was beaten by Banbridge, going against it. I'm going with Ahoy, Senor. You're probably saying he's nuts, but if you look at Ahoy, Senor, all his best runs was done in the spring, February and so on. Even when it came on the scene first, it won in March and April. It won an A&3 in April, but it also won in February before that, and had been second to Braveman's Game. It won the end of January last year, a grade 2, and this is its time of the year. It might get an easier lead out in front. 4-horse race. It's a price I'm willing to chance. Third favourite, 9-2, 4-1. So that's Apple Away, Irish Hill, and Red Risk, and Ahoy Senor. Brings us to each way selections. First one is a bus horse. Several bus horses run tomorrow. I only left to put this one out. I love the nightlife, and so I used to do. I still do, actually. But this one, this mare by Walk in the Park, it was for a step up and trip the last year. That's why I picked it. It went off, it finished up 72 favourite. That was the furthest it had ran in Plumpton, and the horse that she beat, Doing More War, was a decent yardstick. This was 3 miles and nearly 1 furlong. She'll be on the inside, the black and white.
Circuit. Lots of chances here for Gina, responding to pressure under Bryony Frost, has joined issue with Lassou and Hasty Parisian. The one that's dropping away is Diesel Dallier. The one that's moving well is I Love the Nightlife in the black and white. Gone into 4th place over that hurdle. Dugmore Bay is under a drive from Joe Anderson, and then comes Mon Jules, who just got outpaced when they quickened. I Love the Nightlife has come there very strongly. Wants the inside line too, Brendan Powell. Hasty Parisian still there in the 2 path. In the 3 path it's Lassou, and wider out it's for Gina. On the home turn, I Love the Nightlife has come there full of running to come and now brush the front for the first time. Driven along for Gina, out wide is keeping on well. Lassou is also still in there battling, and then comes back in 4th now Hasty Parisian, and Dugmore Bay is sticking on too. As they head towards 2 out, I Love the Nightlife has jumped out very well, and this powerful mare is now moving right away from the others. It's I Love the Nightlife on the run down to the 14th and final hurdle. She has a clear lead. She pops over safely and is in no danger. I Love the Nightlife by 4 lengths. Doug Morbey is sticking on in second, but up front it's Doug Morbey who's trying to close the gap on I Love the Nightlife, who will hold on. I Love the Nightlife wins it for Joe Tizard and Brendan.
That for Gina, that was 4th actually, won as well today. Better hot pot. There's 10 declared, so it's an each bet. It's 9-1. It's an open enough race when you see it 9-2 and 5-1 the field. That's number 1. Number 2. I think this is. I'm going to make this my nap of the day. Irish Hill. It was 6-1 there earlier. I see because it's into with the green bookie to 4s now. This is 125 now. It won this race last year of 128. And Harry Cobden was riding it. Just have a quick peep at the way it won last year's race.
On public, and now Petit Tonnerre is getting into the thick of things. Spot the white cap, green and yellow hoops. On the inside, Zoffany Bay. Samareve is angling for a run. Too Friendly is travelling well behind them. A lot of chances, 2 out. Irish Hill has come smoothly through though and has taken over all of a sudden. He's picked up really well the grey. Chased by the Irish train Zoffany Bay up the inner, down the centre, Petit Tonnerre. Here they come to the final flight now. Irish Hill put in a great leap there, led over it by a couple of lengths. Zoffany Bay, Samareve with on the outside Too Friendly and Petit Tonnerre. But Irish Hill is doing best in the closing stages here, being driven out towards the line, and Irish Hill is going to come and take it for Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls.
Now last year it was only a 5-year-old, and as I said, it won off 128. It's what is it tomorrow? It's 125, and Freddie Gingle takes off £5. But in the Lanzarote, where we are here, that's it. Went out in front, and this was a 2 miles 5 race. That's it out in front. It took the lead at the start. Didn't bet much. Where are we here in the 225? And it was 2 miles 5, and it used up an awful lot of gas the whole way around. This looks like a plot job to retain its crown to me. There is a lot of money for it, I see there, because it was 6s there as I was preparing the video only 10 minutes ago, looking at that page. It's gone favourite now. It was a bigger price. It was 7s in some places earlier today. That'll drift out again in the morning, but I'd be fairly sure it'll be in the first 5. That's why I'd be going 2 pints each way on that horse tomorrow, because you know you're going to. I'd be fairly sure you be if it didn't fall. Well, the bit of luck we had today and yesterday, I suppose. I better not say that. Anyway, it's my nap tomorrow. Now, where are we going now? The 3:15 at Ascot or Haydock. This is the Grand National Trial. Yeah, man, is favourite there. That is for Gavin Cromwell. But if that's heavy ground, this is out of Westerner, and I don't pick the Westerners on heavy ground. Maybe I'm wrong, but when it ran on heavy ground in Navan in March of last year, it was 10th of 12, and when it ran on heavy ground in Clonmel and Maiden Hurl, it was 2nd to Killian's Charm, and it was 11-10 on that day. I'm going to go with a horse that'll relish the conditions, and that is the top weight. I will do it. Last seen when it was 3rd in the Welsh National, and our flower of the month is riding it, Dylan Johnson. Oh no, it was behind Lamia Presse in the dead chase, but it loves heavy ground. Former Welsh Grand National winner. carry. It's down £2. It's 149 now, and he'd be taking 5 off it. 11-year-old, love the conditions, can jump, and I have to stick in an Irish horse. I looked. The only one I could find was what? Or Gordon Park. There's a horse there at 7-1. Aplesh Amin. We backed it at Christmas at a big enough price. I think it's 5 or 6-1. And it went off 5-2 favourite. It was in let me get rid of whatever this is. It was a women's race, and there was a horse that came out of the blue, which was Philip Rothwell's. Cato's Revenge that beat it. But the colleen that was on it, she's not that experienced, and McNamara's on it tomorrow. It had run previously well that's why I picked it the time before. It had run pretty decent at Punchestown, so we'll give that one shot again tomorrow. There's a horse that we back last week. I see is running as well. It's in this race, isn't it? Bestaline. Isn't that out tomorrow? Back and trip will probably suit that as well. It's a big price there. It's 20-1 actually in places. We backed that recently, didn't we? 12 days ago. Without in front that day. And I thought coming from behind us, so Danny Gilligan is on it. But I'm going with the other one. Just to make up an each way lucky 15 and a Trixie. Did I miss anyone there? I will do it. Irish Hill. Aplesh, Amin like the magic. A shout out to Brian Madigan if he's still on the bus. I'm not sure whether I replied to you for sending money for the Christmas dinners. I was going through eliminating or getting rid of hip emails today, and I came across and your name. I'm not sure whether I replied to it or not. I tried to, and then it says the email doesn't exist anymore. Apologies for not replying if I didn't reply. David Mitchell, Gabriel, Maureen Conway as well was looking to, I don't know, send a message to me. I did in her message, I left my email address if she wanted to reply. Anyone looking for one on the Goo, there's a good race tomorrow night at Wolverhampton. And I thought maybe the top weight Max Vega with a run under his belt might have a shot. And that it's in Wolverhampton on the Goo. Anyway, heading for Croke Park tomorrow. Roscommon and Dublin. Hope it's supposed to be raining. I was told about 5 times today from 2 o'clock. I'm not sure is that going to be right or wrong, but I'd hope to get a premium ticket that I wouldn't worry whether it's raining or not, only getting back to the car afterwards. But it's always nice to get to Croke Park and have a couple of pints. So I'm hoping to get a lift as well if all things happen right for me. Bash the bookies, over and out.